That's just Piers Morgan. That's just him. That's just how he speaks. That's just free speech. I wanted to share to you my views on the whole Piers Morgan, Meghan Markle, but most of all, the language about which we use when we're referring to someone who's acted in an awful, bigoted, dangerous way. Often we pass off people, especially, may I say, as someone who's also worked in the media and entertainment industry, powerful men. Often we say, well, that was just him, not we people. They say, oh, well, that's just him. That's just how he speaks. Oh, well, he's just representing a different point of view. And I'm all for free speech. That's why I went into journalism, the power of free will, but also holding people in power to account. Now, I've actually met Piers Morgan, those who know, and I was on Britain's Got Talent many moons ago, belly dancing. It was my own rags to riches story, although that wasn't quite the reality. But I was very grateful for the show and the opportunities it gave me in the media. And I had run-ins with Piers Morgan, and whilst he was polite to me and nice enough, he did say I've got the belly for belly dancing. And it was that typical kind of smarmy British, but it doesn't, old man really, but it does not make it right for anyone, no matter what their personality or their media persona, unless they're playing the part where we're challenging really damaging talk and behaviour, then actually there is no excuse. It gets to a point with people. Yes, people will be controversial. Yes, people will say stuff, and I openly get out of my own echo chamber sometimes. But when it comes to someone, whoever they are, sharing about suicide ideation or sharing their mental health problems, whatever we think of them, their situation, their agenda, I do not care. We have to take it seriously. So many people go, well, I didn't realise she was like gonna take her own life. Almost in the same way where we pass off people who are racist bigots as, oh, well, that's just him. Do you know those sleazy, sexist people? Oh, that's just him. That's just his behaviour. And we start to normalise things. We just start to just brush it off. Whereas actually it's about holding people to account and making sure that we actually deal with them in the right way so they can have public platforms in the sense of being paid to actually share and air these views on a news show. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I don't watch a lot of TV anymore, but Piers Morgan branded Meghan Markle a liar after she shared on the Oprah Winfrey interview about suicide ideation and some of the harassment she'd received and some of the awful things as a result of, well, people say it's just the fact that she's in the public eye, but actually I think there's a lot to it, as you know, my feelings with Meghan Markle, because she's a strong, powerful feminist, and she's mixed race and she's been married. She does not fit our conformed stereotype of what makes us comfortable and what always has been our view of what women should be like. No, she's strong, beautiful, independently willed, and she also has her own voice too. Now, I saw some awful headlines today. One of them said, "Shy Meghan complains about this interview where she's been branded a liar by Piers Morgan." But it's the severity of that accusation which is really, really damaging for someone who is a suicide survivor, I guess, like myself. I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to trigger people, but people do not expect, people do not always know when you're in those darkest moments. You could present, and this is why I always talk about mental health and me, because I want to show that that stereotype of that person wearing black rocking in a corner might be the case in some instances, but mental health and mental health problems is such a bigger spectrum of people, situations. It appears in different way. Like, I'm getting support for my own mental health, and I'm open about that, because actually I wouldn't be here today without consistent support and therapy and treatment and growing in different areas. I wouldn't be here, because you have to evolve as well with your illness and also work out what works for you. But even more so when you're in a high profile position, when you're on TV and you know that you're in the public eye, so yeah, you're open to criticism, that's fine. But at the same time, that does not make you open to not having a private life whatsoever. You shouldn't be open to abuse. There's some basic principles that we shouldn't be, and we allow people just because we think, well, they're fair game, they're online, they're in the media, they're on TV, they're this, they're that. And actually, it's about being kind about people's holistic health. Do you know, you could be someone who's not in the public eye at all, got no money, no attachment to any royal family, and be the happiest. And you could be in the public eye and have all that and the most unhappy. Mental health does not discriminate. It does not matter what level you're deemed to be at. Actually, what it's about is the person. So if someone declares and shares whatever we think of that person or their situation or how they behave or what they may have done, we have to take away all that, because a lot of that is like non-verbal bias anyway when it comes to Meghan Markle. It's all that subtle bias. But even more so when someone's saying something so powerful, so raw about their own mental health and how they've struggled, we cannot laugh it off, or we cannot push it off, because that's then when worst case scenario, someone does take their own life, we go, well, she had so much to live for. We never thought it would come to this. How did that happen? Because she was out that night, and honestly, mental health does not discriminate. We are all strong but fragile, perfectly imperfect human beings. And it's so important that we hold people who are spouting dangerous views to account and make sure that they're actually like punished in the right way, so that hopefully one day I'd like to think they can learn their lessons. But unfortunately, I don't think some people do. But that's all we can do, and we have to take that control and start to go, no, enough is enough. Do you know? It's all about context. This is a news programme that you were on, a morning one, and there's so many different parts of the agenda, and I just think we really, really have to be careful, because as you know, I'm already passionate about the whole Meghan Markle situation. I love languages, and actually seeing how she's spoken about is pretty disgusting. And when you compare it as well, it is evidently discriminatory, if I can say that word. But anyway, I'd love to know your views on the latest news. As you know, I met Piers Morgan all those many moons ago. And actually Simon Cowell was very nice. I never got to know him, and I'm fine with that. I think I'm pretty okay with that, because I don't think even I could have changed his views when people are kind of stuck in their ways. and that's why we really need to challenge those people if they don't hold themselves to account and don't have that self-reflection, and apologise pretty much. So anyway, sending you so much peace, love and shimmies.